Global News tonight. President Tinubu embarks on a 3-nation visit to France, Kenya, and Rwanda. Plateau Speaker reaffirms commitment to strengthen legislative efficiency in the state. Youth Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society commended for a breakthrough record. And on the foreign scene, U.S. to withdraw about 5,000 troops from Germany. Details coming your way in a moment. Good evening and thank you for joining us on Global News tonight. I am Inga Samuel with the news in full. President Bola Tinubu is on an official visit to Kenya, Rwanda, and France. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the president's spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga. President Tinubu's first stop will be France, after which he will proceed to Nairobi, Kenya, to attend the Africa-France summit scheduled to begin next week. Co-chaired by President Emmanuel Macron and President William Ruto, the summit will focus on energy transition, green industrialization, digital transformation, restructuring of the global financing architecture, and climate action. President Tinubu's participation at the summit, scheduled for May 11 and 12, will underscore Nigeria's commitment to strengthening strategic partnerships with African nations and the French Republic. The summit, themed Africa Forward, Africa-France Partnerships for Innovations and Growth, will provide a high-level platform for African leaders and their French counterparts to deliberate on critical issues affecting the continent, including economic transformation, climate resilience, infrastructure development, youth empowerment, technological advancement, and peace-building initiatives. At the conclusion of the Kenyan summit, President Tinubu will depart for Kigali, Rwanda, to attend the annual Africa CEO Forum, scheduled for May 14 to 15, with the theme, Scale or Fail. This year's Africa CEO Forum is expected to be the largest gathering of African private sector leaders, investors, and policymakers, focusing on accelerating economic transformation through shared scale, regional integration, and increased cross-border investment. Held in partnership with the International Finance Corporation, IFC, the forum will bring together over 2,000 top executives and national leaders to debate strategies for building resilience and competitive industries. At both summits, President Tinubu is expected to deliver statements highlighting his administration's ongoing reforms aimed at repositioning Nigeria as a prime destination for investment and growth. Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Nanlong Daniel, has reaffirmed his commitment to sustained investment in training, welfare, and institutional capacity building. This strategic approach, according to the Speaker, will strengthen legislative efficiency and improve the quality of lawmaking in the state. Nanlong Daniel made this known while addressing staff in commemoration of the 2026 Workers' Day celebration at the Assembly Complex in Jos. Our correspondent reports.
Workers' Day, celebrated globally on the 1st of May, provides an opportunity to recognize the contributions of workers to institutional growth and national development, as well as to reflect on policies that improve their welfare. The 2026 celebration brought together lawmakers, management, and staff in a moment of reflection, unity, and appreciation for the role of workers in sustaining legislative activities. Speaker Nanlong Daniel described staff of the Assembly as the engine room of all legislative functions, emphasizing that their dedication and commitment remain vital to the smooth operation and success of the legislature. The Speaker also assured staff of improved welfare, including prompt attention to gratuities and death benefits, while encouraging professionalism and discipline as essential values within the legislative workspace.
The staffs who makes things happen, because those of you who work in various committees, you ensure that our oversight are carried effectively. Without you, members will become handicapped. And we must acknowledge your commitment. Our plenary is to a large extent the level of your functionality and your commitment to duties. And we've been able to achieve all the plenary we have.
Responding, Chairman of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, Plateau State Chapter, Vitalis Hakuri, commended the Speaker for his compassionate leadership, particularly in addressing the welfare of retired and deceased staff, noting that the gesture has restored hope and confidence among workers.
And I make this pledge on behalf of the union. We will never disappoint you. Your welfare is our mandate, and we will defend it always.
Goodwill messages came from the Chairman, House Committee on Labour and Security, Joseph Booker, Clerk of the House, Joseph Barry, and Chairman of the Plateau State House of Assembly Service Commission, Livinus Kwapfuan, who all lauded the Speaker's commitment to staff welfare and institutional development. In Jos, I am Shama Kigan.
For Nigeria to overcome the current rising insecurity, fight corruption and other social ills, Nigerians must be deliberate and positive in their hearts. Anglican Bishop of Bukuru Diocese, Reverend Juan Zumbes, stated this in a charge at the first session of the 6th Synod held at St. Luke's Anglican Church, Marish, in Boko's local government area. Our correspondent has the details.
The first session of the 6th Synod, launching of the Bishop's Church in support of mission and evangelism fundraising of 25 million naira of the Anglican Diocese of Bukur, has as theme the heart that makes the difference. Delivering the 8th chapter church, Bishop Juan Zumbes said greatness is found in humility, stressing that the heart that makes the difference turns strength into healing.
For our state, Plateau State, for our country, Nigeria, for Africa and the whole world to be a better place, the heart that makes a difference must be the bride of every single.
Bishop Zumbes challenged Christians not to struggle for self-gratification or driven by self-interest, but be obedient to God as a step towards glory. Bishop Zumbes, who decried the rising insecurity in Plateau State, Nigeria, Africa, and across the world, prayed for God's intervention. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfong, represented by his special advisor on worker welfare and corporate governance, Titus Alams, noted that insecurity has slowed down development in the state, but reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitment to restoring peace in the state.
Continue to pray for this government so that it will succeed, so that peace will remain. And the governor is very much aware that we have enemies around, so many enemies around. This is because of the potentials in this country, particularly in Plateau State.
Anglican Archbishop of Jos Diocese, Most Reverend Ephraim Gonden, Special Advisor to Governor Caleb Mutfong on Livestock Development, Marcus Avong, and Chancellor Anglican Diocese of Bukur, Grace Pam, among others, in separate remarks, described the church as life-changing and transformative.
Through the bishop in this church, I can assure you that a lot of the problems we live with, problems we are crying about today, they will be resolved.
His message centered on peace for progress. He recognized the fact that Nigeria is richly endowed with natural resources.
From the spiritual aspect, to the world affairs.
Highlight of the synod was the unveiling and launching of the church. From Marish in Boko's local government area, I am Gokop Timothy.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang has urged newlyweds to build their marriage on communication, friendship, and the fear of God. Governor Mutfwang gave the advice at the wedding solemnization of Ponju Nden and Flora Jonathan, held at Kokin LCC Golden Base, Jos. Our correspondent has the details.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the State Samuel Jato, noted that friendship is the foundation of effective communication in marriage. The governor challenged the couple to put God at the center of their home, work hard, be prudent, and pool their resources together.
It is about communication, it's about friendship, it's about talking to each other all the time. So congratulations, wish you all the best. Happy married life, and God bless you all.
In a sermon, Reverend Aaron Indirbita described marriage as special because it is instituted by God. Speaking on the theme, the place of communication in marriage, Reverend Indirbita noted that proper communication keeps everything in order, while its absence fuels most problems in marriage.
I want to tell you that, remind you that you must be united in the heart and see yourselves as one. If you get this point very well, I want to tell you that you will enjoy your life. Right here,
Meanwhile, Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the State, Samuel Jato, later attended the wedding reception of Panje Bagudi Hirsi and Pamela, held at Crispan Hotel, Jos. Joseph Longwa.
Chief Medical Director of Jos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Gokop Bupwada, has acknowledged the role of cooperative society to the medical breakthrough recorded over the year. Bupwada stated this during the 34th Annual General Meeting of the hospital's multi-purpose cooperative society held at the hospital's permanent site. Our correspondent Jonah Dadiem has details of the report as presented in our studio.
The 34th Annual General Meeting of Jute Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited Building Scheme focused on the presentation of the 2026 Annual Report and Action. Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Pogo Bubwada, who is also the patron, was represented by the Director of Administration, Tunji Adebayo, said the cooperative society, through its loan facilities, has recorded milestones.
And business opportunities. Members have been empowered to meet personal and family needs. These have significantly complemented management efforts.
President of the society, Ishaku Adang, appreciated the commitment of members as well as the management staff for creating a conducive environment for their operation.
The rise in inflation, which led to increase in the prices of consumables, we know is no longer needed. We know the situation that we are in the country is a global issue. So those are the challenges that we face during the period of this, during the year.
Guest speaker at the event, who spoke on overcoming poverty through cooperative societies, said staff that attempt to build financial stability through salaries have limited their opportunities to wealth creation.
He says the race is not for the swift, but time and chance happens to them all. Everybody. Tony Garba has 24 hours. Alwadi has 24 hours. The difference is what we do with our 24 hours.
President, Cooperative Forum of Nigeria, Hanatu Meshak, and Director of Cooperative Plateau State Ministry of Commerce and Industry were among those who commended the society for strides recorded in 2026.
You're watching Global News, coming to you live from our Rayfield studio. Stay with us.
Cadbury 3-in-1 hot chocolate, the treat you deserve.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita, prepare them to win every day.
Welcome back. The Agwam Izere Reverend Wakili has appealed to the federal government to recruit more security personnel to tackle the rate of insecurity in the country. The monarch made this remark as he received the newly posted Plateau State Commissioner of Police, who paid a courtesy visit to the paramount ruler at his palace in Shere, Jos East local government area. Speaking through the district head of Meigemu, Ali Ibrahim, the Agwom Izere commended the newly posted Commissioner of Police for taking the right step towards combating security challenges of the state. He applauded the significant role being played by the two divisional police officers, Angware and Mejuju divisions, towards sustaining peace in the locality. He also acknowledged contribution of Hardos and traditional rulers in the council area towards the peace-building process. Wakili assured the Commissioner of Police of maximum cooperation of citizens of the area to security operatives. Speaking earlier, the Plateau State Commissioner of Police, Basiewa, said he is on the familiarization to all police formations across the state and called for synergy with the traditional institution and stakeholders to enable the police and other security operatives succeed. He said Jos East has been peaceful and urged citizens of the local government to sustain it. There were goodwill messages from the chairman, Izere Elders Council, Agwom Nyam, and Ibrahim Pada. Newly elevated Knights of St. Marumba into second-degree order have been told to uphold integrity, sacrifice, charity, and the defense of faith as their core values. Part of St. Paul Catholic Church, Gufan Lamingo, Reverend Father Jerome Arin, gave the challenge at the investiture ceremony of the Knights. Our correspondent, who was at St. Moses Catholic Church, Dudunwada, venue of the event, reports that a Deputy Director of Administration with PRTVC, Mugnan Jibrin, alongside his wife, Edwina Jibrin, were among those investitured.
While addressing the promoted knights and their ladies, the presiding worthy chaplain, Reverend Father Jerome Arin, noted that while the history of knighthood is rooted in physical protection of the church, today's battle is not fought with sword or shedding of blood, but by defending the faith.
With your character, with your morals, with your time, your talent, and what have you, we have to put it into the church so that the church will move.
The oath taking and regalia decoration marked the official investiture of the knights and their ladies into the order. The Deputy Director Administration PRTVC, Mugnan Jibril, and his wife Edwina Jibril, who were among those elevated, explained the significance of the ceremony and the new responsibility.
Today I'm in the second degree. It calls for more responsibilities for me to defend the church, and also a great responsibility in my duties in the society.
I thank God for the grace of being in the second degree of the knighthood. So I'm happy and I give God the glory.
Some of the members of the Knights congratulated and encouraged them to be faithful to their new responsibilities.
So we found these brothers of ours qualified to promote, and we promoted them. So we're expecting more responsibilities from them.
Praying at all times for God's graces for them to execute and do meritoriously in the service of God is what is key. So I wish them all the best.
I pray that they should be more diligent and they should commit much effort in serving God and humanity.
In Jos, Rifkatu Yakubu.
The Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals Plateau State Chapter has elected new executive council to lead for the next 4 years. The election was held at the main laboratory complex, Plateau Specialist Hospital, Jos. Our correspondent has the details as presented in our studio.
The election, supervised by the national body and monitored by the Electoral Committee, saw over 22 delegates from all the branches cast votes for 9 executive positions. Speaking after the election and swearing in of the new ESCOs, President of the Union, Comrade Kamal Al-Hassan, said the election was transparent and orderly.
Based on the issue that arises during the election process, I want to assure you there are processes and constitutional matters that must be followed after these elections.
Al-Hassan reminded the new ESCOs that their mandate is to defend workers. Chairman-elected Comrade Pius Kesua, in his acceptance speech, said the victory belongs to every worker in the union and the state.
With your support and being together to guide us to anything you see that we're doing wrongly, you shouldn't wait first until the thing goes out of hand. Correct us before it goes out of hand. We are not God. We are humans like you. We are born to make mistakes. But they said when 2 or 3 are gathered, or when 2 heads is better than 1, 3 heads better than 2, 200 heads is better than 199 heads. So please, let's work together so that at least we can be putting in ideas, brainstorming, and marrying ideas so that we'll do better for ourselves.
Goodwill messages came from State Chairman, Association of Medical and Laboratory Science of Nigeria, Comrade Matthias Daliop Pam, Comrade Julius Remut, among others. The new ESCOs elected are Comrade Pius Kesua as Chairman, Daliop Nyango Vice Chairman, and Timothy Pam as Secretary, among others.
A cross-section of support groups drawn from the 6 federal wards and 12 state electoral wards of Kwanpan South State Constituency have appealed to former Plateau State Commissioner for Tourism, Culture and for Hospitality, Hajia Jamila Tukur, to contest for the Kwanpan South seat in the Plateau State House of Assembly. The groups, in a show of commitment to her aspiration, presented a check to Hajia Jamila Tukur to facilitate the purchase of her nomination form, describing her as a tested leader with a proven record of service. Our Lantan Zona correspondent reports the presentation took place at her family residence in Kurgui, Kwanpan local government area.
Leader of the support groups and former councillor in Kwanpan Local Government Council, Mohammed Isiaka, said their decision to rally behind Jamila Tukur was informed by her achievements while serving in the Plateau State Executive Council.
In the history of primary election for any local government election, we have been a crisis here and there, but at her tenure, when we come for the election, we conduct the election peacefully.
Also speaking, Thomas Aboki, representing all coordinators of the Kwanpan South State Constituency, Augustine Okafor, on behalf of artisans, and Patience Samuel, representing women groups, unanimously endorsed Jamila Tukur as their preferred candidate.
She have made effort, she have showed consistency, and she have showed concern for the people. And in this era that we are, these are the kind of people we are looking for to represent us in elective positions.
With the little child that she has, she gave people a lot of opportunity. Let's see, 1, social amenities. 2, she gave people those less privileges. She gave them, she helped them out in times of reimbursing them or benefit in kind, people side. They have been doing.
Receiving the check on behalf of his wife, Shoaibu Tukur appreciated the support groups for their confidence and solidarity, assuring them that the family will not take the gesture for granted. The support groups who contributed funds for the purchase of the nomination form include Motorcycle Riders Union, Motor Mechanics Association, Car Charter Union, and women groups, among others. The event attracted supporters from across Kwanpan South, reflecting growing calls for Hajia Jamila Tukur to join the race for legislative representation in the Plateau State House of Assembly. From Kurgui in Kwanpan local government area, I am Thaddeus Yilmen.
The depth of cultural value and heritage can be further utilized in the promotion of sporting engagements amongst youth and community. This position gained weight at the culmination of the Mogaville Development Association 21 World Kilometers Half Marathon Race in Mangu. Our correspondent tells us more.
over 198 athletes cutting across all the districts of the Mogovo nation converged on Mper Kombon Deika Bunga, the marathon starting point, en route to the Mangu Mini Stadium, the finishing point. The athletes battled for supremacy and fame all through the daunting terrains presented to them with a sea of feat and passion noticeable amongst competitors. At the culmination of the 21 kilometers marathon race, Gushi Habila of Mangun district and Nanlob Danladi of Kombun district claimed the men's and women's gold medals respectively, to cut home with the 300,000 naira cash prizes in offer for winners in both categories, with runners-up and third-place finishers cutting away with 200 and 100,000 naira cash prizes each. Secretary General, Mogovo Development Association, Professor Solomon Mongvat, Plateau State Director of Sports, Professor Ezra Gunen, Special Advisor to the Governor on Grassroots Soccer, Habila Mutla, Secretary, Central Planning Committee, Lawrence Kirashik, and Chairman, Nigerian Association of Athletics Technical Officials, Sunday Guchin, all had glowing remarks concerning the place of sports in cultural integration.
It's a wonderful outing. I think it has showcased the talents we have in Mogovo land.
We are looking forward to MDA sponsoring many more competitions to pull out the youths from the vices that they are engaged in.
And the aim of this competition is that we want to get the grassroots mobilization in terms of sports. We want to really involve them. We are taking a leave from football, so into athletics.
Organizers say the 21 kilometers Mogovo Development Association marathon race works in tandem with the need to develop culture and integrate youth development policies like sports. From the Mangu Mini Stadium, the culmination point of the event, Yaksat Maklek.
And on the foreign scene, the U.S. Defense Department plans to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany amid a spat between President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz over the war with Iran. The decision comes a day after Trump criticized Merz, who suggested the U.S. had been humiliated by Iranian negotiators. The U.S. has a significant military presence in Germany, with more than 36,000 active duty troops assigned to bases across the country as of last December. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius told the German press agency in Berlin that the presence of American soldiers in Europe, and particularly in Germany, is in their interest and in the interest of the U.S. At the same time, he made it clear that the decision did not come as a surprise. The fact that the U.S. would withdraw troops from Europe and also from Germany was foreseeable, he said. In social media posts on Thursday, Trump said Merz was doing a terrible job and had problems of all kinds, including immigration and energy. Trump has also suggested pulling U.S. troops from Italy and Spain. In a statement, Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said the order about U.S. troops in Germany had come from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Trump, a long-time critic of the NATO alliance, has been lashing out at allies over their refusal to participate in operations to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And with that, we come to the end of the news. But before we go, we told you that President Bola Tinubu is on an official visit to Kenya, Rwanda, and France. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the president's spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga. Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Nanlong Daniel, has reaffirmed his commitment to sustained investment in training, welfare, and institutional capacity building. This strategic approach, according to the Speaker, will strengthen legislative efficiency and improve the quality of lawmaking in the state. Chief Medical Director of Jos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Gokob Bupwada, has acknowledged the role of cooperative society to the medical breakthrough recorded over the year. Bupwada stated this during the 34th Annual General Meeting of the hospital's multipurpose cooperative society held at the hospital's permanent site. Finally, the U.S. Defense Department plans to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany amid a spat between President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz over the war with Iran. The decision comes a day after Trump criticized Merz, who suggested the U.S. had been humiliated by Iranian negotiators. And that's the news tonight. Good evening.